Hey everyone, it's Nathan Fouts from Mommy's Best Games. As you may know, my newest game I'm working on is called ChainStaff. It's a heavy metal action platformer with a transforming grappling hook, and it's coming out this spring. To help promote the game, I'm heading to MAGFest this weekend. I'll be there in person showing off the game, and I'll have new levels you can try out there. In addition to playing the game at the show, I thought it'd be cool to do something physical. What if I made an actual ChainStaff? Cosplay style. That's enormous! 7 feet long. You'll be able to pose with it and take photos. I started working on it in early December of this year. What would it be made out of? I figured foam, but what kind? I wanted to make this awesome, but also spend as little money as possible. I settled on styrofoam, and we got a lot for free by kindly asking the nearest Lowe's Hardware if they would hold some for me. Oh boy, now I have a big pile of styrofoam in the house. Okay, how do you cut styrofoam? I read about heat knives, and I tried some stuff out, but I couldn't get it to work for very deep cuts. I needed to be able to cut 8 inches deep or more into these big, thick pieces of styrofoam I had. So I settled on buying new but cheap, very sharp box cutters from the local Ace Hardware. How do you connect styrofoam? I ended up settling on a hot glue, and it worked great. What would the core of the ChainStaff be? I ended up using a long, thin piece of wood trim I had in the shed already. The styrofoam I did have had holes regularly drilled in certain parts. And the ChainStaff design already has these neat windows where you can see the veins inside. I ended up using red and blue wires in 3D, like real wires, to make the windows super cool and look gross in there. All right, so I've now carved out the little segments a little bit better, so they have some contour to them. They look more like vertebrae. And I marked the middle point to grab, and now I'm going to put on the little nodules that go on the edges of like spiny vertebrae parts. I added those little bump nuggets on the left and the right of each vertebrae as they started out square, but over time I took time to sculpt them down with the box cutter blade. The spearhead is styrofoam wrapped in regular white paper that I drew veins on, and then I wrapped that in red cellophane, which was easy to get because it's Christmas time when I was building this. I continued to add bone nuggets to the spearhead, and I kept slowly cutting the contours to shape the entire thing. There's all sorts of weird lines and shapes on the styrofoam because they were used to pack things like refrigerators. Anyway, I slowly cut away those lines to make it look more natural. Oh my gosh, there's so many little pieces of styrofoam floating around. They are a real pain to clean up. I did a test with the background that was just the jaws printed out, but that kind of stunk. The whole thing is white styrofoam, which sheds those little balls, so I painted it in a heavy base coat of exterior acrylic paint, which I already had from an old project. Then I painted it again with some leftover deck stain that was white to give it more of a bone look and add more strength to it. The backdrop from the show ended up being 10 foot wide and 8 foot tall, and you'll get to pose in front of it and hold up the ChainStaff to open up the jaws. All right, so I'll be at MAGFest this weekend, and you should come out. We can chat in person. You can pose with the ChainStaff in real life. Please tell all your friends, tell the whole internet if you can't come, and let me know if you heard about this when you get there. All right, I'm excited to see everyone at MAGFest. See you later.